They seek him here, they seek him there. His clothes are out, they never sweat. It will make or break him, so he's got to buy the best, cause he's a dedicated follower of fashion. And when he does his little rounds round the boutiques of old London town, eagerly pursuing all the latest fads and trends, cause he's a dedicated follower of fashion. Yeah, all together, come on. Oh yes he is. Oh yes he is. Oh yes he is. Oh yes he is. He thinks he's a flower to be looked at, and when he pulls his frilly nylon panties right up tight, he feels a dedicated follower of fashion. They seek him here, they seek him there, in Regent Street and Leicester Square, oh yeah. Everywhere the Carnation Army marches on, each one a dedicated follower of fashion. Alright everybody, come on, let's go. Oh yes he is! Oh yes he is! Oh yes he is! Oh yes he is! This world is built around discotheques and parties. This pleasure-seeking individual always looks his best, cause he's a dedicated follower of fashion. He's a dedicated follower of fashion. What is he? A dedicated follower! The taxman's taken all my dough, left me in my stately home, blazing on a sunny afternoon, and I can't sail my yacht. He's taken everything I've got. Come on, all I've got is sunny afternoon. Yeah, yeah. Save me, save me, save me from this squeeze. I got a big fat mama trying to break me, and I love to live so pleasantly. Yeah, live this life of luxury, yeah. Lazing on a sunny afternoon in the summertime, in the summertime, in the summertime. One more time, all together. Help me, help me, help me sail away. We're giving you good reasons why I ought to stay, and I love to live so pleasantly. Live this life of luxury, yeah. Blazing on a sunny afternoon in the summertime, in the summertime, in the summertime. Tonight, thank you. Tonight I'm going to read you from this X-Ray, this book about the torrid rantings of a drug-crazed rock and roller. But I'll break you in gently. I want you to imagine that it's the beginning of a new century. And in this century, everybody's going to get everything you ever wanted. Alright, you get nothing. I'm not talking about the next century, I'm talking about the last one. And there was a queen on the throne. Not a queen from the West Village. her name was Victoria. What's here? Long ago, life was clean. Sex was bad and obscene. When the rich were so mean, staying at homes for the lords. Crooked arms, village greens. Victoria was my queen. Go together. Victoria, 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 Victoria. I was born rocking in a land that I love. Though I'm poor, I am free. When I grow, I shall fight. For this land I shall die. And the sun never set. Oh yeah, 1, 2, 3, Victoria, Victoria. Stirring stuff. Canada to India, straight up to Cornwall, Singapore to Hong Kong, from the west to the east, from the rich to the poor, Victoria loved them all. 1, 2, 3, Victoria! My name is of no importance, because I'm a product of a century which started at the height of class-conscious imperialism and ended with a society so reduced to totalitarian commonness that in my final years at college the saying, mediocrity rises, was very popular. And being mediocre, I rose. My generation has been taught to be so in touch with the latest fashion that we have become faceless. We're victims of design. But oddly enough, although I was taught to think of myself as a man with no face, somewhere inside this dark soul, I sense that one day I might become an individual. I was born in a welfare state, ruled by bureaucracy, controlled by civil servants and people dressed in grey. Got no privacy, got no liberty, because the 20th century people took it all away from me. This is the age of machinery, mechanical nightmare. The wonderful world of technology, napalm, hydrogen bomb, biological warfare. This is the 20th century, but too much aggravation. This is the age of insanity. What has become of the green pleasant future of Jerusalem? Ain't got no ambition, I'm just disillusioned. I'm a 20th century man, but I don't want. Keep all of your smart modern writers. You give me William Shakespeare any old time. You can keep all of your smart modern painters. I'll take Rembrandt, Titian, Da Vinci, and Thomas Gainsborough. My mama says she can't understand me. She can't see my motivation. Just give me some security. I'm a paranoid schizoid product of the 20th century. Yeah, we gotta get out of here. We gotta find a solution. Well, I'm a 20th century man, but I don't want. Don't wanna die here. This is the 20th century, too much aggravation. This is the edge of insanity. The 20th century now, but I don't want. I don't wanna be here. 20th century man. 20th century man, but I don't wanna die here.
There's a tap by a reservoir leading to a stream that turns into a river estuary that eventually opens to the sea. And there's a docker by a wharf sending cargo overseas, unloading foreign trade from a large ocean vessel in the mighty metropolitan port of London. And when I think of all the Londoners still outside, Eastenders, Westenders, Oriental lenders, Fu Manchu, Sherlock Holmes, Jack Spot, Henry Cooper, Thomas A. Beckett, Thomas More, the Craze Winds. There's a part of me that says get out. Then one day I hear somebody shout. Sounds to me like you come from London town. If you're ever up on Highgate Hill on a clear day, I'll be there. Yes, I will be there. Through the dark alleyways and passages of London, London, London. As I said, I was born in the suburbs of North London. I come from this wonderful family, slightly eccentric, but by modern standards, it was a big family. I had 5 older sisters, and they were all teenagers when I was still about 4 or 5 years old, so there was a big age difference. It was wonderful being the only boy in a family of girls. They were all except the hand-me-down clothes, obviously. And then one day, my mum surprised everybody when at the age of 44 years old, she gave birth to another baby boy. His name was David. More about him later. But my older sisters played all of their bebop records on the radiogram in the front room. The front room was a special room. It's where we all congregated at Christmas, where we had parties. Weddings, births and funerals, the same room, the front room. When they had parties though, they put on records by Johnny Ray, Perry Como, Joe Stafford, Les Paul and Mary Ford, and the one and only K-Star, Wheel of Fortune, was the first double tracking I ever heard on a record. But most of all I was impressed by a country and western singer called Hank Williams. One of my sisters had a record by Billy Eckstein. He was a black man with a Jewish-sounding name, but that wasn't the problem. You see, for a while my mother refused to have this record played in the house because, according to Mum, it had sexy lyrics. Now, the record was banned, but my sister used to play it a lot when she wasn't there. And Dave and I picked up on this. We used to watch them dancing to this in the front room through the keyhole. So when Mum was not in the house, Dave and I used to get the record in question, put it on the radiogram, turn it up full volume, look through the keyhole, as the whole house would throb to these sexy, subversive lyrics. That old black magic has me in its spell. That old black magic that you weave so well. Those icy fingers up and down my spine. That same old witchcraft when your eyes meet mine. That same old tingle that I feel inside. And that elevator starts to ride. Round I go, down and down I go, like a leaf that's caught in the tide. I think my mother was right. Later on, Dave and I brought our own records back into the house. Early guitar heroes like Chet Atkins, Chuck Berry, Dwayne Eddy, James Burton, and the greatest of all, according to me anyway, Big Bill Broomsey. All of these records played on that same radiogram. And when Dave and I had our first rehearsals in that same front room, well, the atmosphere was already set for us. Down and down, round and round. If this is too sexy, I'll stop. In a spin, loving that spin I'm in, under that old black magic called love. So I had nobody till I met you, but you keep me waiting all of the time. What can I do? It's your life, and you can do what you want. Do what you like, but please don't keep me waiting. Please don't keep tired of waiting, tired of waiting for you. I was a lonely soul, had nobody till I met you. But you keep me waiting all of the time. What can I do? Let's hear it sing, come on now. It's your life, and you can do what you want. Nice one. Do what you like, but please don't keep me waiting. Please don't keep me waiting, 'cause I'm so tired, tired of waiting, tired of waiting for you. So tired, tired of waiting, tired of waiting for you. For you. For you. Now, I want to reassure you, this is just a stage prop. It's not really there. You want to see me get drunk, falling around the stage, don't you? Well, that pint of beer there, and it's very well poured incidentally. Just the right amount of head. It's very well poured because it reminds me very much of a significant person in my life, my dad. Because Saturday nights were special because my dad used to go to the pub with all of his cronies. He used to drink till they threw him out. And he used to come home every Saturday night and want to have a party. Of course, Dave and I were there with our guitars, but he wasn't interested in that because Dad was the star. He used to insist on performing Cab Calloway's Minnie the Moocher after 15 pints of Guinness. Needless to say, Dad would fall arse over tip and completely embarrass himself while he was trying to sing. Now I know where I get it from. And all my sisters would come home with their boyfriends and all dance, creep, smooch, boogie woogie, everything to early rock and roll. And one of the interesting things was that Dave and I could observe how influential the music they played was on them. But we were frustrated with all the adults stealing the thunder. So Dave and I made a decision. We wouldn't sit in the corner and play our little guitars quietly, because we would turn electric. And the way we did that, I persuaded Dave to part with all of his pocket money. And I took it up the road and there was an electricity shop, that's where you turn electric. There was this amplifier in the window, I remember vividly, it was about this big. And it was an 8-watt guitar amp. 8 watts isn't very loud, and it was covered with this green, horrible looking Formica. So we christened it the Green Amp. Took it home and practiced. As I said, it's not very loud. Does anyone know what 8 watts sound like?
Yeah.
Crap. Actually, it was a nice crap. But we practiced day and night on this Walkman.
Yeah, man! Yeah!
How does she know it sounded like that? It's uncanny. But there we were, we practiced day and night. Now Dave and I, through our observations into the front room through the keyhole, had noticed that our sister who went out with this guy who worked at the ballroom up the road, the local palais, and our observations told us that the relationship was not great. He was not going down too well with her. In English that means the relationship was not flourishing. To put it another way, he was not going down too well. So Dave, my brother Dave, was already, already corrupt at that age. He called this poor boyfriend and he said, "Hey, mister, if you get us a gig playing at your ballroom on Saturday night, And this was really cruel because we knew that he was on the way out. Dave said, he's expendable. There we were, the following Saturday. Dave, me, and our friend from Colefall Estate, Pete Quake, all playing in the Green Amp. We were in front of 1,000 cynical teddy boys. You see, we thought we didn't need a drummer even because we had all the movements down. The Shadows, very famous English group. We could play all the songs. Unfortunately, the teddy boys didn't agree and the management pulled us off. Didn't even have a drummer. But we thought we were great. As we were dragged off the stage, we were still plugged into our amp, still playing. Anyone that can name that song, I'll buy you a drink in the intermission. Didn't do it on time. It's got to be an instant. You've got to know instant. But the Green Amp was still on stage, still playing. We were all plugged into that Green Amp. It's farting away. And the Green Amp came to save us much later on, but I'll tell you about that some other time. I don't need nobody else. So if I can't have you to myself, set me free, set me free, oh set me free, little girl. All you gotta do is set me free, little girl. You know that you can do it if you try. All you gotta do is set me free. I don't want no one if I can't have you to myself. I don't need nobody else. Oh, if I can't have you to myself. Set me free, set me free, oh set me free, little girl. All you gotta do is set me free, little girl. You know that you can do it if you try. All you gotta do is set me free, set me free. I just had a flash about those poor boyfriends. All my sisters used to really give them a hard time. I often think that some of the titles I got to my early songs were inspired by the pleading boyfriends in the front room. Things like, set me free, tired of waiting for you. The front room was an interesting place. You had the radiogram there. But it was partly out of frustration with wanting to sound as distorted as Chuck Berry's guitar on Memphis, Tennessee. And the fact that Mum and Dad's radiogram, due to excessive volume, had blown a couple of speakers. Dave had the inspired idea. He took one of Mum's knitting needles and stuck it into the speaker of the little green amp. He rechristened it the fart box. The front room was a great place. It had a mystical quality to it. It's hard to describe. Maybe it's because all the music that was heard there. I went to a church school, St. James's Primary School, Church of England. But the closest I felt to religion was not singing in the school choir, which I did every Sunday, but practicing with Dave in the front room. See my friends, see my friends playing across the river. See my friends, see my friends playing across the river. She is gone, she is gone, and now there's no one left except my friends playing across the river. Oh, she is gone, and now there's no one else to take her place. She is gone, and now there's no one else around except my friend playing across the river. See my friends, see my friends playing across the river. See my friends, see my friends playing across the river. Yes, it was wonderful to live in that safe little neighborhood. It was our little kingdom. But to be in any way abnormal in this little kingdom was not good. There was a little hunchback man who used to walk around the streets of North London where I grew up. His head was bowed, forced to look at the ground by this cruel, debilitating hump. Now my dad wanted me to play football for a living. Very strange occupation, I should think. But he insisted that I succeed. And so I tried very hard, and I became the captain of the school team. Very proud of that. Until I sustained an injury playing soccer to my lower back. Actually, it was a kick up the arse, but we won't get personal. But like all 13-year-olds, I didn't let the injury repair. And eventually, I was in so much pain I went to the doctor, and he could see that the only way to get me to stop playing soccer is to scare me. So he said, if you don't stop immediately, you're going to end up a cripple like that hunchback I see you laughing at. Of course, when you're 13, you believe this, or half believe it, because you never quite know. Doctors aren't meant to lie. And so, I soon began to relate to this little hunchback, and I didn't laugh at him like the other kids anymore, because to me, he became a role model. We all know that ugliness, like beauty, is only skin deep. Don't be fooled by appearances. It only shows what the world already knows. Don't rely on physical evidence or what the X-ray pictures show. Because inside every straight upright citizen, a tormented, physically impaired, emotionally damaged personality resides. Beside every crooked man stands an angel with wings, and the spirit can do wondrous things. As I watch a humpback man hobble down a high street, I say a silent prayer for myself. I was taken to the local doctor for a consultation about my physical health. I heard a mask about my family history. See, Mrs. Davis, it might be hereditary. I heard a mask about my family socially could be. We were a physical deformity. But the world only sees what it believes and is revealed in the X-ray. It only knows what it knows, photographs, video, and the printed word. Yes, there is more in this heaven and earth than what appears in the X-ray. I started to watch this little humpback man studying his moves every day, wondering when my hump would appear. I looked in the mirror, but nothing had appeared. Every day I looked. But I began to feel that I would be a cripple, and I didn't mind that much. I'd be ready. Maybe there would be side benefits. Maybe it wouldn't be so bad to be a cripple. Maybe there would be priority seating in football matches. Never know. And if I was going to be a cripple, I would go all the way. They can photograph you physically, but they can't picture your fantasies. Cause the world only sees what it believes and is revealed in the X-ray. It only knows what it knows, photographs, video, and the printed word. Yes, there is more in this heaven and earth than what appears in the X-ray. Yeah. It was quite clear by now that there was going to be no hump on my back. But I wasn't that going to spoil my day. You see, if I wasn't going to be a cripple on the outside, I'd be a cripple on the inside. I'd be ready. And all of a sudden, that little man walked down the streets. And he was more than a role model. He became my idol. He was the strongest man I'd ever seen. Almost an ally. And the world is so obsessed with physical beauty. They look down on him, but they can photograph his crippled bones, but they cannot see his soul, his strength of character, his spirit. The only things that cannot be seen or touched. They can photograph you physically, but they can't picture your spirituality. 'cause the one only sees what he believes in is revealed in the X-ray. It only knows what it knows, photographs, video, and the printed word. Yes, there is more in this heaven and earth than what the scientists know, and what appears on the X-ray. It is time for you to stop all of your sobbing. Yes, it's time for you to stop all of your sobbing. There's one thing you gotta do to make me still want you. You gotta stop sobbing now. Yeah. Stop it, stop it. You got some summer now. Each little tear that falls from your eyes makes me want to take you in my arms and tell you to stop all your sobbing. Yes, it's time for you to stop. Sobbing now, yeah. Stop it, stop it. Gotta stop sobbing now. Stop it, stop it. Gotta stop sobbing now. Stop it, stop it, stop
Yeah.
That's very evocative, Pete. That's a real word I read in Rolling Stone. It must mean something. Speaking of being evocative, the time I spent at art college when I left school was quite fascinating. Because art school in the mid-60s was an astoundingly odd place to be, because nobody really studied art. We were all there for the action, you know, the parties, the good times. There was a movement though. We were more concerned with the pop culture than anything to do with art, really. And one thing I loved about art college were the girls, because it was a leftover from the continental look, you know, these girls that had fingers like a guitar. A Gretsch country gentleman with a vibrator on. There was one girl in particular, an absolute goddess. You see, although I come from this large family of girls, I found it very difficult to chat them up, because I suppose I was shy. It's difficult to imagine, isn't it? I'm so confident. I suppose it's hard to imagine me as a 17-year-old spotty-faced nerd, because I haven't always looked this cool. But there she was. She used to take me up to her bed sit every night, knowing I wanted her madly. She used to lean against her refrigerator with a cup of cocoa in her hand and listen to me talk about politics, revolution, art, all the usual crap. And although this is, I suppose she's a quite modern topic, sex and all that, we used to call them chicks. And I know that's like a bad word nowadays, but we used to love calling them chicks, that's what they were. Her specialty at art college was sculpture, painting and sculpture. But with me, her real expertise was humiliation. So I'll dedicate this song to that wonderful goddess, that that wonderful prick teaser. My art school babe, with your palette knives and brushes, painted face, Egyptian eyebrows and bright red lips, hair white makeup, tight black skirts like Juliet Greco, and there's me, giving all my pretentious chat up lines, quoting Proust and Jean-Paul Sartre, sitting by a gas fire in a drafty bedsit. The art school babe quotes William Blake as she rolls me a joint. And I think out of score, I start to make myself at home. Then the room starts moving as she starts to get me stoned. I close my eyes and give in. The room goes in a spin. My lips are dry, I wander around with a ridiculous grin. I grovel on the floor, I think, yeah, I think I can make it. Then I wake up and realize I've been kissing the refrigerator. Our school chaps, we had such creative grand illusions. 6-pack at the ready, eager charcoal in our hand, boring the world for hours with political theories, just to impress anyone who listened, while my art school babe just puts another inch of makeup on her face. And she says to me, "Artie farty, you'll never fool your auntie. Who knew you when you picked your nose and wet your pants? How did she know that?" Artie farty, I tried to throw a party to impress my peers and struck a creative stand. Art school cat, I was really on a mission. I make my play for my art school babe by humming jazz tunes with words by Ferlinghetti. I thought I was ever so cool, but I was really such an obvious, pretentious fool for my art school babe. I went back home to the front room. I looked in and I saw Dave and Pete practicing. David had adopted this fantastic way of playing, similar to Eddie Cochran, putting his own inflections. It sounded much the same way as Dave spoke, sort of. The barking dog was born. I thought, yeah, I'm a failed cripple, a failed artist, so I'll get in on this scam. And I became the rhythm guitarist. But we needed a drummer. Pete insisted that we took an advert out in the Melody Maker, which was the most prestigious newspaper in England at the time for musicians. Very important beat group requires services of a very special drummer. Auditions next Thursday. Following Thursday, one person turned up. His name was Michael Charles Avery. It's got fans here. Mick was from South London, and there is a big divide from North and South London, maybe the same here, but it's in England, in London particularly, there's a big difference. Mick was a very forward-looking, ordinary, down-to-earth guy. Pete and Dave had been very impressed by the Carnaby Street fashions. Pete had his hair buffoned really high at the back and had these Cuban heel shoes, very high heels. And he wore these sort of plastic, it's like a mini skirt with sleeves in it. It was like a cake. That's it, cake. That's it, cake. And he wore eyeliner as well, a lot of makeup on the eyes. Dave had this very long hair down his back and wore thigh-length leather boots and his underpants outside his trousers. What a guy. I was dressing in kind of odd leftovers from art college, cavalier shirts with frilly collars and things. So we must have looked quite strange to Mick. Mick took one look at us and declared, "I like the group a lot. The music, very interesting. I want to make one thing clear. I've got a girlfriend. And I'm straight." You can soon change that now. We persuaded him he looked like a real man, real macho man. In fact, he looked like Rock Hudson. And we said, "Mick, you're too..." That's before the world knew. So Mick thought, "Oh, well, I'm all right, safe ground here." He got the drumsticks, carefully sat on the drums, and became our drummer, looking as manly as possible. Now it was time to get management. You gotta have management. We were discovered playing in a bar by two very aristocratic upper-class guys called Robert and Grenville. They were both 6'6" tall and stockbrokers by trade. And Robert and Grenville thought it would be a very good idea to manage a club. What do you think, Grenville? I think it's a very good idea. So we thought, oh, why not? Give him a try. There must be something right. They were assisted very soon by another, more streetwise character, equally tall. His name was Larry. And Larry used to smoke a cigar. And he came from the wrong side of the tracks, if you know what I mean. And he always seemed to refer to me as Cock. He called me Cock. "Hello, Cock. How are you, Cock? How's your cock, Cock?" I never knew why he called me Cock. However, it was Larry who managed to secure us a recording contract, a 3-single deal with a small independent label. We've been turned down by all the majors, but this label gave us a deal for 3 songs. The first single was a cover of a Little Richard song called "Long Tall Sally." Exactly. We got 3 claps and that was it. A terrible disaster. That's right. The follow-up, however, was my first composition for the Kinks. It was a very naive song called "You Still Want Me." Unfortunately, nobody did. The third single had to be a hit, otherwise we'd get dropped. And I'd written this little blues thing a year or so before for the band to play on stage called "You Really Got Me." Exactly, the audience loved it, but the record company hated it. They thought it wasn't worthy to record and wouldn't pay for us to go in the studio. So Robert thought it would be a very good idea to record it. What do you think, Grenville? I think it's a very good idea, Robert. I think it's going to be a hit, Cock. I think it's a fucking hit. You know what? I'll bet you Cock on that. Larry had a way with words. And so then we found ourselves, Robert borrowed, I remember now, £200 from his father. He bought some studio time for us. The record company allowed us to go in, but they made one condition. Mick Avery had joined the band late, and he hadn't signed a recording contract yet. He wasn't only straight, he was smart. So we agreed to use a session drummer, who happened to be a friend of ours called Bobby Graham, great drummer. And we snuck Mick into the session just before it started, so he got on the record somehow on the tambourine. On the session, we had 3 hours to record this song. It's not very long. And Dave was tuning up in the corner, practicing "You Really Got Me," playing it in much the same style as I'd written it. It sounded a bit like this. record didn't sound quite like that. But that's how we wanted it to sound. In our heads it sounded like that. When Dave played the opening chords, "You Really Got Me," the session drummer forgot the complicated pattern he was going to play on the drums and just thumped one beat on the snare drum as hard as he could. Wow! As if to say to Dave, "You noisy little bugger. I can play just as loud as you can." And you know, that's exactly what we wanted. For the next 3 minutes, he was one of the Kinks. Now it was time for Dave's guitar solo. This moment had to be right. I shouted to Dave to give him encouragement, but only spoiled his concentration. He looked over at me with a dazed expression. Fuck off! Now, before you think this is gratuitous use of bad language, anyone listening to the original record of "You Really Got Me," just after the second chorus, before the guitar solo, if you listen very carefully, you'll hear in the background, when I did the vocal overdub afterwards, I tried to cover it up by saying, "Oh no!" But through the "oh no," you can still hear in the background. Then Dave looked over in a very odd way. His mouth relaxed, his jaw opened, and for a moment he seemed to stop playing. Now all this happened within the 2 minutes of making the record, but I remember it now like it's slow motion. His eyes squinted and his face broke into that arrogant sideways smile I've learned to love and hate over the years, incidentally. You see, he hadn't even heard me shout. He just wanted to swear to psych himself up. Then Dave gritted his teeth and sneered at me just one more time before turning away to play that now legendary guitar solo. album, haven't you? The Kinks record, You Really Got Me, went into the charts at number 25. Yeah! I knew you would be pleased. Robert and Grenville were very ecstatic.
Right, I told you, Kurt.
So, Larry knew a man, we knew a man, we knew an old queen. And this old queen knew Brian Epstein. And Brian Epstein was a very, very nice chap. And he liked the Kinks a lot, particularly Mick Avery. I tell you, it's the straight ones, they always fall for it. And Brian Epstein was so impressed by this funny little record that came out, and the band, and our trousers, that he got us a gig on one of the big concerts, package concerts, with one of his top bands. And the band in question was called the Beatles. Now it's obvious you never saw the anthology, did you, on television? I shouted over to Dave.
Play You Really Got Me!
What? Have you ever noticed what a really high voice is there? And Dave turned up his amplifier, which caused it to feed back slightly, and the high-pitched frequency cut right through the screams of the Beatles fans. For a moment, the audience went silent. But as soon as Dave played the opening chorus to You Really Got Me, they were with us. It was like a prize fight, and we had taken one round off the Beatles, who were the world champions of rock music. And as John Lennon and Brian Epstein watched from the wings, I felt like shouting in my best Liverpudlian accent. This isn't one of yours! It's one of ours! You really got me, though. Yeah, you really got me now. Oh yeah, you really got me now. You got me so I don't know what I'm doing. Oh yeah, you really got me now. You got me so I guess I got me. You really got me. You really got me. You really got me. Oh yeah. Cause he gets up in the morning, then he goes to work at 9, and he comes back home at 5:30. It's the same train every time, and his world is built around punctuality. It never fails. Come on! And he's all so good, and he's all so fine, and he's all so healthy in his body and his mind. He's a well-respected man about town, doing the best thing so comesailaway. He plays at stocks and shares, and he goes to the regatta. He adores the girl next door, cause he's dying to get at her. with his mouth that knows the best of arts. The matrimonial mistakes we got. He's all so good, he's all so fine, he's all so healthy in his body and his mind. He's a well-respected man about town, doing the best thing so conservatively. Well-respected man was on an EP in England called Quiet Kinks. You see, they were doing unplugged even then. But Quiet Kinks was spelled quiet with a K, very imaginative. And in America, the single was put out, Well-Respected Man, and it became one of our biggest selling records at that time, which we thought was very odd because all our previous records have been straight ahead rock and roll songs like You Really Got Me, Tired of Waiting for You, and my personal favourite, All Day and All I've Done. And also, the thing that made Well-Respected Man different from all these is that it contained lots and lots of words. And there was one word in particular that really caused quite a stir in North America. And I'll never know why, really. It just proves that sometimes we do have a slight difference of opinion when it comes to language. And I'll sing the verse in question and see if you can spot the offending word. And he likes his own backyard, and he likes his fags the best. See, where I come from, a fag is a roll-up, a cigarette. Like my dad used to smoke. Harry Rag. See, Harry Rag goes down in folklore. Harry Rag! It's not, all right. Oh, Tom is young and Tom is bold. Tom is as bold as a night of old, but whenever he gets in the midst of a jam, there's nothing he won't do to get a Harry Rag. Harry Rag! Harry Rag! I'll do anything just to get a Harry Rag, and I curse myself for the life I've led. I roll myself a Harry Rag and put myself to bed. Hey! Oh, the smart young ladies of the land, they can't relax without a Harry in their hand, and they roll one up. They feel so glad, so content because they got a Harry Rag. Hey! Harry Rag! Harry Rag! I'll do anything just to get a Harry Rag, and I curse myself for the life I've led, and roll myself a Harry Rag and put myself to bed. Hey! There we go. You called it. Oh, bless you, tax man, bless you all. You may take some, but you'll never take it all. But if I give it all, I won't feel sad, as long as I've got enough to buy a Harry Rag. Hey! Harry Rag! Harry Rag! I'll do anything just to get a Harry Rag, and I curse myself for the life I've led, and roll myself a Harry Rag and brought myself to bed. Hey! That's what a fag is in England, a Harry Rag. And in America, it means something else. All of a sudden, we were being invited to play in places like San Francisco and Greenwich Village. We want the Kinks here immediately. Mick Avery was very concerned about this. Robert and Grenville couldn't see anything wrong with it whatsoever. Can you imagine? No, Robert, it's perfectly normal. Still, what did they know? Aristocrats. One up the bum, no harm done. And I have to tell you, it's a very messy business. And I was so terrified about my macho image, I decided to get married immediately. I wonder where she went. So there we were on a plane to America, hoping that everyone would be screaming because of all our rock and roll credentials. but knowing in the back of our minds that people will be shouting, "Hey, look, it's the Kinks. Sing that faggot song." So to celebrate this momentous occasion, I want everyone to join in with one more stirring chorus of the well-respected man. And he's all so good, and he's all so fine, and he's all so healthy, and his body and his What's his name? Well-respected man. What does he do? We got off the aeroplane at Kennedy Airport, a little bit concerned, as you can well imagine. We went through immigration. I walked up to a big fat immigration officer. He looked like a big redneck, a big cowboy. And the first words I heard on American soil were from this big fat immigration man. Are you a Beatle? Or are you a girl? Ooh. That was the thin end of the wedge. When I was a kid, my dad had taken me to see all these wonderful American cowboy movies with John Wayne and Randolph Scott. I wasn't sure about Randolph Scott, but I knew that John Wayne was a real man. And I wondered what the Duke would do in this situation. So I assumed a position and went up to the immigration man. I'm a girl. He let me through and he gave me a visa for a year. Have a nice time in America, kid. And so we went through. We played New York City at a wonderful old venue called the Academy of Music. Later changed to the Palladium. As many rock people called it, the Koiludium. New York was fine, but then we left liberated New York and went into the more conservative outback, driving through Illinois in a big Ford Thunderbird with a slick-looking dude at the wheel. And he looked over at me. He knew I felt intimidated. Welcome to America. America, land of the free, home of the brave. And I really loved all those movies I saw as a kid. All those great American heroes. And I loved the musicals. All those great songs, Technicolor movies. But I'd also seen the black and white images from Dallas, Texas. Lee Harvey Oswald. The Texas Book Depository. My Technicolor dreams were often invaded by these harsh, fuzzy-looking images from another time. And the Kinks had signed lots and lots of contracts, publishing contracts, recording contracts, management and agency contracts. We didn't like these contracts very much, and so we disliked pieces of paper with our signature on it. And America seemed to be part of this conspiracy. But innocent bystanders in the land of ice cream and apple pie, guns in the Wild West. Hey, big fat cowboy, wearing that big state sun. Hey, big fat cowboy, singing country and western. Hey, big fat cowboy, holding that big gun. Hey, big fat cowboy, is Thunderbird with some slick-looking dude at the wheel. He looked like a punk from a B movie. The sort of punk that would piss everybody off before me, Marvin, put a bullet through his brain. The punk leaned over and looked at me. Kinks. Kinks, huh? What kind of a motherfucking name is that? Hey kid, I got Elvis Presley's phone number. I fucked Anne Margaret. Why did he want to tell me that? I knew this would impress Mick Avery, but the kid just picked up the car telephone and dialed a number. Hey, is that you, Elvis? I want to talk to the Colonel. Jump to it, you mother. How could he speak to Elvis Presley in that manner? Then the punk got really annoyed, slammed down the car phone and reached into the glove compartment and pulled out a revolver. I'd never seen a real gun before. He waved it around menacingly. You see, kid, when people deal with me, they treat me right. Otherwise, they deal with this. I'm glad he was only waving his revolver. Then the punk slapped back into that happy mode again. Welcome to Peoria, Illinois, home of Middle America. Ice cream and apple pie. Guns and Wild West. All America's got white teeth that gleam in the sun, and butter and a milkshake. Hot dog with a big smile and a bad attitude. Flying across America on a TWA, we landed in Los Angeles, California. British invasion. I think it was the word invasion that did it. As if they took it personally. Waiting in the studios to go on television. And a man walks up to us with a piece of paper. You're the Kinks, right? I want you to sign this union release to allow you to appear on TV to promote your new single. He backed off, refusing to sign. Then the man got kind of agitated. He looked over at Dave. Hey, Mr. Kinko Pinko, in your red hunting jacket and your frilly yellow shirt, sign the piece of paper. Come on, sign the piece of paper. This may have been the right thing to say by Dave, but to the wrong person. All right. You see, I'm with the union. Once I file my report on you guys, you ain't never gonna work here again, you know what I mean? This is the land of ice cream and apple pie. Guns and the Wild West. We're an American people. Swoops down from the sky above. We're an American people. Lights up the sky like the sun. We're an American people. Rules with the face, the smile and the gun. I suddenly remembered the image of Lee Harvey Oswald appearing on TV saying he was a patsy. I'm a patsy. A policeman hit me. Yeah, that's what it was. The paranoia suddenly got to me. It was part of the gigantic conspiracy. I barricaded myself in my hotel room. I wasn't going anywhere. That's what it was. In the land of ice cream and apple pie, John's in the Wild West. Wearing a big Stetson, big fat cowboy, singing country and western. Big fat cowboy, holding that big 6-gun. Big fat cowboy, this is the way that the West was won. 6 weeks later, Robert and Greta were sitting in their offices in Carnaby Street. And a letter is hand-delivered from the American Embassy, from the AFM, American Federation of Musicians Union and Television Artists. The pop group, known as the Kinks, are hereby banned in America. Period. Indefinite. Well, what an irony to be banned in the land of ice cream and apple pie, guns, and the Wild West. Thinking back now, maybe I did overreact. It was a very intimidating place. I know you all live here and you take it, you know, it's natural to you, but for a Boy Scout and 3 other Kinks coming to America for the first time, it was very, very daunting. And I had just got married before I left to this wonderful girl. It was incredible because 6 weeks after we got married, she gave birth to a baby daughter. A miracle. And I was writing a lot of songs for the band. We were like onto our 3rd album, I think. An interesting thing happens when I write songs. I come up with all these, what I think are great lyrics. But really, my subconscious is much smarter than I am. It doesn't take much, really. But it seems to write all these things, put these lyrics into songs that I don't really know about until years afterwards. And on that disastrous tour, I remember sitting in my hotel in Reno, Nevada, looking at all the flashing lights of the casinos, thinking of home, and this little song I'd written before I left. When I look up from my pillow, I dream you are there with me. Though you are far away, I know you'll always be near to me. I go to sleep, sleep, and imagine that you're there with me. I go to sleep, sleep, and imagine that you're there. I look around me and feel you are ever so close to me. Each day drags by until finally nighttime descends on me. I go to sleep, sleep, and imagine that you're there with me. I go to sleep, sleep, and imagine that you're there. I was wrong, I won't cry, I will love you till the day I die. You alone and no one else, you were meant for me. When morning comes once more, I have the loneliness you left me. Each day drags by until finally nighttime descends on me. I go to sleep, sleep, and imagine that you're there with me. I go to sleep, sleep, sleep. Isabella looked into her mirror. Priscilla looked into the washing machine and the drudgery of being wed. She was so jealous of her sister and her liberty and her smart young friends. She was so jealous of her sister. Isabella looked into the wardrobe. Priscilla looked into the frying pan and the bacon and eggs and the breakfast to serve. She was so jealous of her sister and her way of life and her luxury flat. She was so jealous of her sister. She'd throw away her dirty dishes just to be free again. A woman's weekly magazines just to be free again. And put the children in the nursery just to be free again. Priscilla saw her little children and then decided she was better off than the wayward lass that her sister had been. No longer jealous of her sister, so she ran round the house with her curlers still in her hair. No longer jealous of her sister. You see, two sisters, that's my subconscious telling me that the glamorous Sibylla is really my brother Dave. Happy, no obligations, free, and I am boring old Priscilla, trapped in my semi-detached. Priscilla saw her little children and then decided she was better off than the wayward lass that her sister had been. No longer jealous of her sister, so she ran round the house with her curls on. No longer jealous of her sister. I know a man who knows a man, and this man will make it possible for you to get back into America. And the man who knows a man has an office in New York City at the top of a gigantic skyscraper. And so we fly to America to meet the man who knew a man, with Grenville and Robert and Larry in tow. And we walk into the office of the most powerful man in the music industry,
The Kinks. I always wanted to meet the Kinks. That You Really Got Me was a great record. I want to know one thing. That Mick Avery. He's a fag, isn't he? What can I do for you, my fine, respected gentlemen?
Well, you see, we've got a problem because we've been banned from America for nearly 3 years now, and we can't tour here at all, so it would be great if you could do something about that.
I heard about this. Disgraceful. Cut off in your prime. Your prime!
Yeah, it's terrible, I know.
I'll deal with this. We deal with these immigration problems all the time. Just sign on the dotted line. I'll deal with it.
And before you go back to England,
Mr. Humble, is there anything else I can do for you?
well, we've got a really shitty recording deal. And, oh yeah, the publishing is not all it could be. In fact, the band, I've got no money at all.
That's disgraceful. I hear such a lot of this. Young guys like you getting ripped off. It's disgraceful. I'll deal with it. Just sign on the dotted line.
And we sign, and we fly back to England, back to the semi-detached. And then the telephone rings. It is my attorney. The lawsuits have started. There is a knock at the door. The writs are being served. Breach of contract. I dial the man who knew a man. Listen, I don't want to go on with this. I just want to get royalties, I want to make records, play with my band. I don't want lawsuits.
It's too late now, kid. I told your managers I'd deal with it. You have to hang in there.
The publishing will come back.
Eventually. Till then, welcome to the money go-round.
Robert owes half to Granville, who in turn gave half to Larry, who adored my instrumentals, and so he gave half to a foreign publisher, each of half the money that was earned in some far distant land, gave back half to Larry, and I end up with half of goodness knows what. Can somebody explain why things go on this way? I thought they were my friends. I can't believe it's me. I can't believe that I'm so free. Hey! Eyes down, round and round. Let's all see so much money go around. And everyone sing a little bit here and a little bit there. You don't deserve money from a song you never heard. Don't know the tune and they don't know the words, but they don't give a damn. There's no end to it. I'm in a pit and I'm stuck in it. The money goes round and around and around and it comes out there. Once they've all taken their share. I went to see a solicitor, and my story was heard, and the writs were served on the verge of a nervous breakdown. I decided to fight right to the end, but if I ever get my money, I'll be too old and grey to stand it. Oh, and life goes on and on, but no one ever wins, and time goes quickly by, just like the money go round. I only hope that I'll survive.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Madison Square Garden! Yeah!
Ronnie Delsner and Air Creative Management have great pleasure in bringing back these guys to America. They've been away for too long. I want a big hand, a big Madison Square Garden welcome for the one and only Kinks! Yeah! Thanks very much. How are you? Isn't it big in here? But let's not be intimidated by the size of this place. Let's pretend it's a 300-seater, okay? And this is a song about a real fag. If you can't sing, clap your hands, but I'd really love you to sing. I met her in a club down in Soho where you drink champagne. It tastes just like a cherry cola. See how it is? She walked up to me and she asked me to dance. I asked her her name and in a dark brown voice she said Lola. Hello, that's the way that I wanted to stay. I always wanted to be that way for my Lola. Hello, girls will be boys and boys will be girls. It's a mixed up, muddled up, shook up world. Except for Lola. Everybody sing it. So I'm no better than the animals sitting in the cages in this room, man. Because compared to the flowers and the birds and the trees, I am an ape man. I'm an ape man, I'm an ape man, oh, I'm an ape man. Well, I'm a King Kong man, I'm a Voodoo man, oh, I'm an ape man. I don't feel safe in this world no more. I don't want to die in a nuclear war. I want to sail away to a distant shore and make like an ape man. La 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 la. See, if this wasn't Madison Square Garden, they wouldn't clean up after it. That's in case any of you thought the show was beginning to lack in spontaneity. It's nothing like a good old-fashioned hit, is there? Oh, the buffoon's fucked up. But when you go home after a triumphant American tour, and you go back to the semi-detached, and the one you loved has gone, it puts everything into perspective. Because you go into that semi-detached, that empty house, they always take the furniture. Well, the best furniture anyway. And you walk in the front door and you look on the floor and you see a photograph of you and the dog. You've been there, haven't you? But in the corner of the room is the thing that hurts most of all. It's an old discarded vinyl album. And on that album were the songs you used to sing together when you were in love. And by sheer coincidence, they've also left behind a record player. So you can be guaranteed to stay up all night and send yourself stark raving mad. But you play the songs nevertheless. And every track has a memory. And every track cuts to the bone. In the back of a record rack, there's an old double pack. 12 inches of black with an old crumpled cover, but every track is stacked. And it takes me back to one cause this melancholy mood, and every single groove cuts me to the bone. Yeah, she rocks me to the bone. I took her back to my bachelor flat while the stereo played for two. She had wrapped her gift and she played me a riff and said this old record was just made for you. Then we danced the songs of passion and the singer's velvet tone on a gramophone while the record played, rocking me to the bone. She knocks me to the bone. Those rocking old romantic songs played all summer long as she rocks me to the bone. She played the songs all night long. You fall asleep and the dreams turn into nightmares. And through the nightmares you can still hear the sound of that sad old Motown backbeat in the distance. Let's hear a sad old Motown backbeat. Yeah. In dreams she's smiling in slow motion, devouring all of my emotions. Angels singing rock and roll while demons take away my soul. Voices sound her image fades. Every time that record plays, she rocks me to the bone, knocks me to the bone. In my back room there's an old 45 that we played all summer long, shaking the beam so loud it covered up the screens when lovers harmony went oh so wrong. And in every word emotion soaring, and blood flows down the drain like she opened up a vein and cut me to the bone. Rocks me to the bone. And now I'm just a prisoner in that stereo outside jail. The needle pierced just like a nail as she rocks After that triumphant return to America and the even more disastrous return to the front room, the Kinks did a concert at London's Drury Lane Theatre. This was financed by the British government. It was something to do with the celebrations about England entering the European common market. I don't care about the common market either way. I've got nothing to lose, but I saw this as an ideal opportunity to stage a musical I'd always wanted to put on called The Village Green Presidential Society. The Drury Lane concert featured not just the Kinks, but a full-blown orchestra and session singers to perform this new work. I'd written lots of songs at the last minute and put them in the show. I couldn't remember the words, so I had them on the boards across the stage to remind me of the lyrics. But the show worked in a strange, untogether way, because as pompous as the occasion was, the audience seemed to understand that perhaps things wouldn't be the same as they were in the Village Green, England, Britain, whatever. Maybe the Village Green, which was my obsession, really was where I grew up in Muswell Hill, the suburbs, the fields. Out in the country, far from all the soot and noise of the city, there's a village greener. It's been a long time since I last set eyes on the church with a steeple down by the village green. 'Twas there I met a girl called Daisy, and I kissed her by the old oak tree. Yes, I did. Although I loved my Daisy, I sought fame, and so I left the village green. I miss the village green, and all the simple people. I miss the village green, the church, the clock, the steeple. I miss the morning dew, fresh air and Sunday school, and now all the houses are rare antiquities. American tourists flock to see the village green. They snap their photographs and they say, God darn it, isn't it a pretty scene? And Daisy's married Tom, the grocer boy, because now he owns a grocery. I miss the village green, and all the simple people. I miss the village green, the church, the clock, the steeple. I miss the morning dew, fresh air and Sunday school, and I will return there, and I'll see Daisy. We'll sit, tea, laugh, and talk about the village green. Yes, we will. We will laugh and talk about the village green. After that show, we decided we'd really go for it with this album. We went in the studio to cut a single. But the most interesting thing, or the more interesting thing about this single was it would be the last track that Pete Quaife would play on, the original bass player. Pete had decided to leave the band. Some people think it was all the endless litigation that we were still embroiled in. I like to think it was me, but I think it was the litigation. But it was kind of sad, really, that first band breaking up, because Pete was in the front room playing through the green amp with Dave at the beginning. He had been pulled off stage, still trying to play Ghost Riders in the Sky. It was an original in a strange way. Now he was leaving. Mick Avery was on the drums, still saying he was straight. Dave Death of a Clown Davis on the guitar. The inventor of the fuzzbox. And me, still wondering why I wasn't a fantastic artist. Robert and Grenville were still there, but by the skin of our teeth. Ray, this isn't a good job for a gentleman to be involved in, because litigation is really below us. We can't be bothered with this, Ray. We can't make any money at all. What do you think, Grenville? No. Bye-bye, Ray. Bye-bye, Ray.
Larry was still there. You know, Kurt, I believe in the band and that, but, you know, green pastures. So there we were on our last session together. And Pete hadn't told us yet, but we knew.
Days I remember all my life. Days when you can't see wrong from right. You took my life, and I knew that very soon you'd leave me. But it's alright, now I'm not frightened of this world, believe me. I wish today could be tomorrow. The night is dark, it just brings sorrow, let it wait. Thank you for the day, those endless days, those sacred days you gave me. I'm thinking of the day I won't forget a single day, believe me. I bless the light, I bless the light that shines on you, believe me. And though you're gone, you're with me every single day, believe me. Dirty old river, must you keep rolling, floating into the night. People so busy, make me feel dizzy, taxi light shines so bright. But I don't need no friends, as long as I gaze on Waterloo sunset, I am in paradise. Every day I look at the world from my window. Terry meets Julie, Waterloo Station, every Friday night. But I am so lazy, no one to wonder, I stay at home at night. But I don't feel afraid, as long as I gaze on Waterloo sunset, I am in paradise. And I'm going to tell the band about this, and I know they'll want to play it. But if you listen to some of these strange songs that I've been singing, listen to the songs and read some of this very dubious, unauthorized autobiography, X-Ray, you might learn something about the Kinks, and possibly a little bit about yourselves. Because as some smart reviewer said, maybe it's because we're all part of popular culture. You really got me, got to #1 in all the charts. The night it got to #1, the Kinks played a concert in South London at
at the Streatham ice rink, and the ice melted. But there was only one song everybody wanted to hear that night, and we played You Really Got Me about 3 or 4 times. After the gig, we left the backstage area and went towards the bar. And I saw my dad with a group of his cronies from the pub, and they were drunk. My dad came towards me with a group of these people. He was wearing this dashing blue suit, and his hair had been smarmed down with brill cream, especially for the occasion. I thought he was going to shake hands with me or something like that, but he did something very uncharacteristic. He got hold of me, hugged me, and he kissed me on the cheek. I tried to think of something appropriate to say, but I blurted out the fact that I was sorry. I'm sorry, Dad, I'm sorry it wasn't football. Sorry it wasn't art. Sorry it had to be this. And he looked at me and said, come on, let's get David and go to the bar and get pissed. But as we went towards the bar, he stopped and he whispered quietly, actually, I'm proud of you, because you're doing all those things on stage that I always wanted to do. And I always thought that parents weren't supposed to like rock and roll. Maybe that's it. I can't remember much after that. Maybe we went to the bar, got pissed. Maybe the world stopped turning and You Really Got Me was #1 forever. No way. The real world's not like that. If it had stopped, the Kinks wouldn't have gone on that great journey. Up and down. Up with the career and across and down and up with the career. Ending here tonight. And I wouldn't be able to read from X-Ray and tell you about the greatest bunch of guys I ever worked with, the Kinks. And Larry, and Granville and Robert, who deserve a big applause as well. All those people were great characters. Maybe without those characters I couldn't have written the songs. Thank you, you've been a great audience, you've been really great. God bless, good night, You Really Got Me! You really You ready? Oh yeah, you really got me now. Oh yeah, you really got me now. Hey, you really got me. You really got me. You really got me. Oh yeah.
Come right to you. What? Go right up to him. That was good. All right, that's it. It's over. Hold on.
Look me up some information, okay?
Just hold on 1 second, okay?
I want to get out of here.
Tired and stoned. It's good dining. Oh, man, that's fucking cold.